So we had a question that came in. They want to know, what are your thoughts of giving a teenager with mild to moderate autism, expressive and written language disorders, medication to help focus with schoolwork, especially in the area of written work? I've heard if he takes meds, it may or may not solve the difficulties he has, and they write, thank you very much.
Right, that's a great question. I'm really glad that your viewers asked that question. It's an issue that comes up really frequently.
Sure.
And first off, I need to say that I'm a behavior doctor, not a medical doctor, so it's not exactly my area of expertise to give advice on medication. However, what they're talking about is use of medication to change behavior.
Right.
And I am somewhat familiar with the status of research, or quite familiar with the status of research on using medication to change behavior in folks on the spectrum. And there's very, very little research. There might be zero research to suggest that medication helps people on the spectrum improve focus and improve productivity in schoolwork in the classroom.
Okay.
So right now, there's no research to support that decision. Nevertheless, it's something that a lot of people do. It's very common for physicians to prescribe, especially stimulant medications, to improve focus and decrease hyperactivity in people on the spectrum. So to the extent, and there is research supporting the use of stimulants and other similar medications for children with ADHD and ADD. So if your child is suffering from difficulties that are very similar to, or maybe even functionally the same as a child with ADHD, maybe some of these medications might help. So it's a maybe. No research to support it, but maybe it could work.
Okay.
But, there's a big but, anytime someone's asking about medication to help with behavioral issues, what we always have to say is do the least intrusive treatment first, okay? So medication should never be a frontline or first choice treatment when we're talking about changing behavior, especially in kids with ASD. The first choice, the frontline treatment, should always be a behavioral treatment that involves positive manipulations in the kid's environment. So things like instituting extra help to help the child be on task, using rewards when they stay on task, using supports maybe from peers or from aides or from the teacher. Things like that have no possibility of having major negative side effects, right? Or almost zero, essentially. Whereas medications, all medications, have significant side effects associated with them. So I would say definitely start with a more educational behavioral approach first and exhaust multiple options in that arena first. If that's still not working, I would say change your ABA provider. If that's still not working, then maybe it's reasonable to discuss medications, but definitely not as a first consideration.
And you brought up that there are no negative side effects to doing the behavioral intervention, but
if it's done properly, yeah.
But also science has shown that it's the most likely to be effective. Yeah.
Of course, right.
And so that's another good reason to do that first.
Right. And so, of course, I don't know this individual child, and so I don't know what their particular challenges are. But yeah, there is a lot of research to show that basic behavioral strategies, things like, visual aids, visual supports, visual schedules or written schedules to help an individual stay on task, and using rewards, good old-fashioned rewards, whatever is individually tailored to the specific child, whatever they care about. Maybe it's earning points of some kind, and then at the end of the day, the points are exchangeable for something else that the individual really cares about, like extra time on the iPad, or a trip to the ice cream parlor, whatever it is, right? Or extra time riding their bike or skateboard or something like that. But it has to be individualized. It has to be something the person really cares about, and rewards work.